name's Gabriel. I'm doing medical science. I'm a bit older than most people, actually. I'm 19 this year because I took a gap year out in Poland, which was amazing. Also, side note, if any of you are thinking of coming to university, like I know sometimes it's quite pressurizing, do you take a gap year? If you can, take a gap year. It is the best thing. Anyone here will tell you, if they don't take gap years before university, they will take it after university. It's so good. It is one of the best things. Just because, you know, the cliche, like you find yourself and stuff, you actually learn so much more. You come here and you can just socialize with people, you can get involved in things, and it just feels so much more natural than if you just come straight from school. But that's enough about gap years. I'm doing medical science. If you want to come here and do medical science, I think the first important requirement is if you've got to be quite fit. And doubly as fit if you end up in Berks, like me, because cardiac hill is bad. But if you live in Berks, when they say you only have cardiac hill, they're actually lying. You have cardiac hill, and then you have another hill to get to the forum. So that's not always ideal, but you get used to it. It's actually not that bad after a while. And trust me, I am like the most unfit of all people. I'm getting there. But the thing about medical science is that it's split half-half. It didn't used to be like that, but it's split half Streatham and half St. Luke's. So you have to spend half your time in Streatham, but sometimes during the day you have to go to St. Luke's as well. So if you can walk there, it takes you about 30 minutes? 30, 25 minutes, depending on how much of a fast walker you are, or if you stop to get like subway like me. But it will take you quite a while to get there. So sometimes some people choose to take the bus, which can be quite expensive, but you have to keep that in consideration. If you go to St. Luke's for medical science. But a lot of the lectures for medical science are actually, the 8:30 ones for medical science are almost always in Streatham. I was unlucky because there's a thing called SSGL in medical science, and that's where you have a little small group and you have a tutor and you discuss topics you learned that day, which is amazing. It's one of the things that Exeter does I think other unis don't do for biosciences. But it's really, really helpful. You learn lots of stuff. And most of those, for me, unluckily, it's at 8:30. But it's once every 2 weeks, so it's not that bad. Every day, I think, not every day, I think 3 days or 4 days in a week, I have 8:30 lectures. But that's always in the forum, which is in Streatham, which is literally about a 5-minute walk from here. So it's fine. But do keep in mind you have to go to St. Luke's there. Here's my story. I think especially if you're applying, especially for UCAS. If you're applying for UCAS and you're worried, and if all these things, I've been there, and I think I've been through a very hard journey to get here. I think for me, it was a lot harder than most other people, because I had some personal problems, and this is very important for all of you who are taking A-levels. I did the new specification of A-levels, and for people who are doing science, especially science A-levels, I'm not sure that the other subjects have changed. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay,
I don't think so. Science is the only one that I did. And for AQA, they changed to a new specification, which is a lot harder. All of you people out there who do A-levels, you know what I mean. The science, the biology, chemistry, and physics is extremely difficult. So I was actually given a golden chance. I took my exams in 2016. So I was the very last year who did the old specification, which, trust me, is so easy. It's really, really easy. A-levels are very difficult. So I got the easy one, but I failed it because of personal problems.
Okay.
And they were quite serious to me. And that's why I failed my A-levels. And if you want to know, I got a D in chemistry, which for all you science students out there, it's a death sentence, especially for a lot of the medical ones, biochemistry, medicine, medical science. If you get a D in chemistry, it's bye-bye, ciao. It's finished. So for you people out there, for some people, it might be amazing results on results day. For some people, it'll be difficult. Because for me, I obviously cried. I was like, here are my hopes and dreams, all going out the window. I don't know what to do. And you will feel like that. I went through it, so I know it was very difficult for me. In my first year, I applied to 4 universities for medicine. I got all 4 rejections. None of them took me. None of them even gave me an interview. So, and on top of that, I also failed my A-levels. So my final year of college was not good. So let alone thinking about uni. And then I decided to take a gap year, which I sort of learned so much about Poland, went to meet people, played the piano, learned to socialize, learned to know that there's so much more to life than just results. I know it sounds cliched. I know pretty much every YouTuber says that. But it is true. I learned it, well, in perhaps the most painful way possible. It hurts so much, but it's so true. Results are not the only thing in life that matters. But for me, I decided that actually I really want to do medicine. I love it. It's so important to me that I can't live without medicine. I feel like it's part of what I think about. So a lot of people think about different things when they walk down the street. I always think about, could we cure cancer? Like, is there something else to do? Or I'll be thinking about Stevie Wonder tunes. But that's for a different time. So I had a passion for it. And I think a lot of you out there have passions to do something that's really close to your heart. Don't give up. Give up if you know that you don't like it and somehow it's not working. Don't hold on to those things. But for me, I had a passion in medicine and I was not going to give it up. And I kept going. So I retook my A-levels. Now, bear in mind, I can't retake my old ones. So I had to retake the new specification, which is absolutely terrible. It was shocking. It was abysmal. It's appalling. AQA examiners, if I find you, I will have a word. But it is terrible. But I slogged through it. I worked hard because I learned my lesson the first time. And I'm proud to say I got an A-star AA.
Wow.
And my chemistry is an A. So I went from a D to an A. It is possible. It is possible. It takes a lot of hard work and it takes a lot of support. But if I'm going to be honest, I had a lot of support. My mother supported me a lot. My teacher supported me a lot. And most of the times, it didn't feel like support at the time. It just felt like people were clubbing me in the head and just being really, really tough. But you need it. You need it. And that's how I got from a D to an A. Universities. So I applied the second time and I ended up with so I applied to Newcastle, Sheffield, Exeter, St. George's, and Queen Mary. Those were my 5 applications. These were all for medical science. And all of them had some sort of medical transfer into medicine. I'm going to go off on a tangent because I feel like a lot of people want to know about this. Medical transfers, okay? So for all you medicine rejects out there, like me, you will want to know about medical transfers. The best way I would go about doing it is ask your careers advisor. So I asked mine, and there is a sheet on which it gives you, or maybe there is one on student room. I'm not sure. I'll check. But there may be one on student room. There is one on student room. There's one by my careers advisor which he prints out. It gives you a list of all the universities, what mitigating circumstances they give you. Can you retake? Can you not retake subjects? What criteria they want for the transfers, when you can transfer, how long. There's a whole list of it. Go look it up. If not, go on the university's website, have a browse around. You should find something on there. If you can't find it, ring the university direct. If you have any queries, concerns, they'll be more than happy to help you. But medical transfers, Exeter does a 1-year medical transfer, and that means that you don't have to sit for UCAS or BMAT or any sort of that disgusting. I don't even know what to call it. Here's a rundown on UKCAT for people who don't know. It's like, there's one part which is like situational judgment, right? And there's a bit where they ask you, they're like, Stephen stole a pen. Is that A, bad, B, very bad, C, good, or D, very good? And I got band 4, which was a psychopath on it. It was absolutely terrible. So it's a relief that you don't have to do UKCAT or BMAT in Exeter when you do the transfer. So they don't judge you on that. They judge you purely on how well you do in your first year, which is fantastic because it's a new start. You don't want to have previous grades pulling you down or making you less advantageous in your selection process. The Exeter professors are extremely helpful with the medical transfers here, and it's really good here. I know there are other universities that do it as well. So I ended up with Newcastle being my firm offer. Shout out to Newcastle University. You guys are amazing, and you guys have an awesome university. I loved your open day. Fab, amazing. But my firm was in Newcastle. My best friend actually is in Durham University. He didn't take a gap year because he was an amateur. But so I wanted to go to Newcastle because obviously I want to be close to him. And it's always nice if you know someone. If you come to university and you already have a friend here, you're sorted. Like, literally, don't even worry. Why are you worrying? Don't worry. If you have a friend here, you're sorted. If you don't have a friend here, even better. You can go meet like tons of strangers and do weird things with them. I've seen some weird things in Exeter. Very weird things. Anyway, Newcastle's my firm offer. They were a brilliant university. I loved it. Loved the people there. Loved the scenery. Loved everything. It's Newcastle. It's amazing. And Newcastle United. Who doesn't like Newcastle United? Go Newcastle United. And my insurance was Exeter. When I came to Exeter on my open day, I didn't like it. I chose not to stay too much with the student ambassadors. I have a friend here, shout out, James Barrow, absolutely amazing guy. B-Knock, he's the best, he's my best friend, he's in Exeter. And I came to sort of jam with him, he gave me a tour around Exeter. And I'll be honest, I didn't like it the first time I saw it. I really didn't. I thought everything that people said about it was true. Like, it's predominantly white people, quite cold. I didn't really get too much conversations going with people here. But maybe it was just because I was tired. I mean, I was doing like 4 open days in a week. So I was quite tired. And I did it quite late as well. Advice, tip, if you are going to have a look at what universities are like, especially for the open days, do it early. Don't do it late. If you can, do it around start of AS, end of AS. I'd say don't wait until A2s to do it. Maybe first, second month of A2. But even then, don't do it. If you're doing medicine, you should have had a rough idea of which universities you're going to by the end of summer of AS. If you don't, make sure you do. Because I feel like the more stressed you are for open days, it's a lot harder to tell what a university is like, what the people are like, the feel of it. I was sidetracked. Back. Exeter, I didn't like it. Didn't get much conversation going. So I went back, and Exeter was my insurance, and Newcastle was my firm. So 7 days before UCAS results came out, I decided to swap. And I swapped because Newcastle's medical transfer, which is exactly the same as Exeter, yep, it's 1 year, but they require UKCAT. And I'm not good at UKCAT. As I told you, I got a band 4, which is a psychopath, for the last test. So I don't like the UKCAT. And Newcastle is very competitive. It's hard. And I feel like my strong point is always going to be science, because I like studying it. I love it. And Exeter doesn't require that. So in the 7 days, I made a quick change. I rang up UCAS, told them, can I do a swap, please? And they said no. I couldn't. So I had to stick with Newcastle. And if I got my grades, Newcastle would give me the offer, and Exeter would automatically be cut off, because obviously you get your firm offer. And I got better than I was predicted, or better than my offer. So what I did was, what did I do? I rang up UCAS. I told them, look, I want to change. And so what I had to do, and I think this could be quite helpful if you want to change your insurance and your firms around, they don't really talk about it on their websites. What you have to do is you have to pray that the insurance university has a clearing for your course. If they don't have clearing, it's very difficult to do it. And what I did was I rang Newcastle. I told them to completely cut my offer off. So rang Newcastle to cut my offer off. And I rang Exeter and asked if they're clearing on medical science, which they did. So I got into medical science that way. But definitely try to think very hard about which one's your insurance and which one's your firm. If you get it the wrong way around, it is a hassle to get it sorted. It's a lot of down to chance, luck and places. So be very careful about how you do that.
I'm trying to put you in the worst mood.